Welcome to the Reinvent Your Life podcast, the show that talks about why we do what we do and how we can do it better.
Welcome to the Reinvent Your Life podcast, this show that talks about why we do what we do and how we can do it better. My name is Chaz Molesky, and today we're going to talk about beginnings and ends. And we're going to talk about that today because currently, at the time of recording this, we're in the middle of a quarantine due to the COVID-19 virus, and it has changed lifestyles for many people. I know myself included has been feeling the results of just being quarantined, being isolated in the house, not being able to have a lot of social interaction. And for those of you that don't know, actually, social interaction is one of the biggest proponents of positive mental health. Being around people and interacting, being social, is crucial for just sustainability of your own mindset. We as human beings are social creatures. We're meant to be social. That's it. I mean, if you look back primitive times, we all formed tribes. We formed groups because we needed to have this inclusiveness, this feeling of togetherness. It's how we've thrived as a species, especially because one person alone cannot achieve great results. It takes a community of people to really make that next step, right? Have something amazing happen. But at the moment, we're in a situation where we don't really have that, and we're not going to have it for the foreseeable future. Some states at the moment are currently opening back up. Some are trying it out. Some are seeing, as they open up, increased cases of the virus going around. And then there's other states, like the state that I'm in, where we're still on lockdown. It's full quarantine. You have to go into stores with masks on, and the stores that you go into can really only be grocery stores or essential needed stores, and the hospital or the doctor office. So there's still not a lot that we can do, and social distancing is still heavily in effect. And now people are actually being fined for being in public with other people and being too close. And obviously it's all meant for, a good cause. It's all meant to stop the spread of this virus. But what it's doing to people's mental health is really fascinating, because what's happening is everybody being isolated and separated from each other. We're not used to this. It's even for those people that say, I'm an introvert, I don't talk to people anyway, they're still not used to it. It's still different. It's still this new age, this new feeling of, well, now I almost have fear associated with other people, right? I'm afraid to be around people, which really is not good for a species, especially from an evolution standpoint. But getting back to the point of this podcast, and specifically this episode, really what we're going to talk about today is the beginning of all of this. When all of this started, we were all thrust into this nation of fear. We had this mindset of just being terrified of the things that were going on, or the unknowns that were coming, right? Because we had no idea what was going to happen, what it was going to look like when we're all shut down. And it was really scary. And now it's sort of coming to an end. There's no real quote unquote end in sight, but it is starting to filter out. And at some point, this will end. So there's a saying that says all good things come to an end, or all good things must come to an end. Well, guess what? All bad things also come to an end. Not many people talk about that side of it, but all bad things also come to an end. So eventually, this quarantine, this isolation, the virus, all of this stuff, it's going to come to an end. We're going to come back to a new normal. We're going to come back to our own realities. And when that happens, it's completely up to us to decide what that means for us. If you have not listened to the episode on meaning, that's the previous episode to this one, please go back and listen to it. It talks all about meaning and assigning meaning to events or things that are going on. But specifically, the end of this, or the beginning of this, is going to be dictated largely in part to how you perceive things that are going on. So some people at the end of this are going to come out flourishing. You spent time on yourself in quarantine. You worked on yourself. You spent a lot of time on your own mental health, maybe your physical health, and you've been really focusing on how can I improve? How can I grow? Despite everything that's going on, how can I grow? Which is a fantastic mindset to have. So a lot of people are going to come out of this and see great success because they've been practicing. They've been conditioning their mind for it. So no matter what happens when all of this is up and we can actually go back out and interact and do all of that, these people are going to flourish because they've been practicing it every day. Some people, this is going to be an end. This is going to be an end of what they knew, right? Of what was so familiar to them. So prior to being quarantined, prior to being stuck, they had a familiarity. They had a normal, and they were really comfortable with that normal, and they really loved that normal that they had. It was their lifestyle. Well, when this is all over, it's going to end. that previous life that they were living, the previous lifestyle, there's going to be changes that come. Don't think that it's all just going to go back to complete 100% the way it used to be. Things are going to be different. It's going to change. There are going to be changes. There have to be changes. As we've evidenced with everything that's going on, changes have to be made no matter what we're doing, just for the safety of the population. So for some people, what they knew is going to come to an end, which means there's going to have to be a new beginning for them. They're going to have to start completely fresh, completely new. And maybe if they haven't been working on themselves right now, if you're listening to this right now and you feel like in quarantine, you've just been swimming, right? You're drowning in everything that's going on. Listen, do not get ahead of yourself. Don't fall under the water here with everything that's going on. Take a breath, calm down, and understand you're about to have a rebirth. You're about to have a new beginning. And when you have this new beginning, what you're going to see is there's more opportunity, or there's new opportunity. Probably opportunity that you did not realize before because you were so stuck in the everyday hustle bustle of what was going on, right? That was just your convenient, common normal. Well, now there's going to be an opportunity for so many different things and new possibilities, and you're going to have a chance at a new beginning from all of this. Even the people that have been working on themselves right now, there's still going to be a new beginning when all of this unloads and we can actually go back out, because you're going to see everything you've been working on, everything that you've been focusing on is going to work in your favor as to finding what you want to do now when we move forward, because you're already tuned into that. So understand that once this comes to an end, it's going to be a new beginning. There's going to be a new start to your life in one area or the other. You're going to have a new start, and how that starts off, it could start slower, it could start fast. That's completely up to you. And you have to decide when all of this is up, what do you want to do? And when you decide this of what you want to do, you also have to think, who do I want to be? How do I want to act? This is a great time, even if you don't want to work on yourself in the conventional way of quote unquote, changing your life, working on yourself. This is a great time to reflect, self-reflect, and think about, what do I want to put back into the world when all of this is over? Who do I want to be for my family, for my friends, for my loved ones? How do I want to respond to the events of my day? Do I want to be that stressed, anxious, overwhelmed person that I was before all of this started? Do I want to be that stressed, anxious, overwhelmed person that I am right now? Or do I want to focus on other things? Do I want to feel different? Do I want to be different? Do I want to believe different things? Do I want to start a new trend in my own life? See, these are the questions you need to start asking yourself, because when you start asking these questions, you're going to have the ability to start making some changes. And it doesn't have to be massive changes, but understand you're headed towards a new beginning. And in that new beginning, you can start writing that chapter however you deem necessary. But don't just roll out of this into the same old existence that you had if it was not a satisfactory time for you. So if you did not like life pre-quarantine, if you did not enjoy yourself, if you did not feel like you were having a good life, quote unquote good life, well then now is a perfect time to decide what you want. Because at some point this is going to end. All of this is going to end. And you're going to have the opportunity to create massive, amazing change. You're going to have an opportunity at a brand new start. And when you have that opportunity, do not let it pass. Because honestly, as terrifying as everything has been with everything going on, this is an amazing opportunity for everyone listening to make an amazing change, to start new, to try something new, to become whatever it is that you've been putting off because you didn't have the time, or you didn't have the emotional wherewithal to actually get it done, or you didn't feel like you had a vision or a purpose. Anything that you felt before that was lacking, now is the time to start building that up, because not very often do we get a chance at a new start. And not very often do we get a chance to sit down, self-recollect, think about what's going on with us, and then decide what we want moving forward. Very rarely does that happen. So right now is a better time than ever to decide at the end of this, when this does end, what does your new beginning look like? And what is that beginning going to set you up for in the future? Because remember, every step you take from this point forward is shaping your future. So when you start on this new beginning, what does that look like down the road? And how is that going to impact you, your family, your loved ones, your career, your finances, all of those categories? How is it going to impact them? And then get excited about it. If you're thinking this out and you're writing these things down and it's not exciting you, guess what? You got to dream bigger. you got to figure it out. Look, we get one shot at this life. So you got to find what you want to do. You got to find how you want to do it. You got to find what you want to feel when you're doing it. A lot of us just go through the motions in our day, and it's just the same thing over and over and over again. Look, if you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, and you're getting the same results over and over and over again, and you're experiencing the same emotions over and over and over again, it's time to make a change. And you are 100% capable of making that change. And it all starts now. This is your new beginning. Once this ends, this podcast, this quarantine, this whole self-isolation, once that ends, you are headed for your new beginning. And right now is the time to define what that beginning looks like and how it's going to start. So take a moment after listening to this. Listen, if you're driving, if you're listening to this while you're driving, you can think about it in your head. But as soon as you get the opportunity, write something down. Write down that first step, that first thing you're going to do, that new beginning step, that number one thing that's going to kick this ball rolling, start the dominoes, right? Write that down, put it somewhere where you can see it, and take an actionable step starting today to head in that direction. You don't have to accomplish it today, but you have to get in the mindset of heading towards it and creating that momentum for change. All right. So listen, if you like this podcast, please like, subscribe, share it with a friend that needs it, and please give me a rating. Let me know what you thought. All right. And I cannot wait to come with more amazing content, especially as this comes out. You're going to hear this. You're going to hear a lot of things that are going to be very introspective for you. It's going to make you think. It's going to drive you towards change, obviously, because if we're not growing, we're dying. And honestly, I want everybody to live an amazing, fulfilled life. And the only way that we can do that is through change and through growth. So I would love to be a part of that journey for you. All you have to do is subscribe to me and listen in every week when I'm bringing you new and more engaging material. All right. So thank you for listening, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Reinvent Your Life podcast. Now go out and apply what you just heard to start your reinvention. Please subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with those that need it most.